Greetings. I'd like to talk to you about how you figure out what to charge for your products and services. In a previous video, we talked about how to calculate costs of doing business, but I think an equally important component to that is how do we figure out what to charge for our products or services? There's always an interesting balance when looking at pricing. There's so many components to it. There's the economic component, and that is there's this balance, if you will, between what it costs me to make a product and what the market will bear with regards to what people are willing to pay for the product. See, it doesn't matter if it costs you $12 to make something if the market is only willing to pay $10 for it. So you have to find that happy balance of pricing strategy. So let's talk about a few pricing strategies that have been really popular to use over time and what might be a good fit for you and your business. One is the cost plus pricing strategy, which simply says you add up all the costs relative to producing or providing the products or services you sell, including your direct cost of goods sold, your overhead burden rate, and then you add a percentage for profit, and that's what you charge per unit in the marketplace. That one's relatively easy. Again, keeping in mind the balance between what it costs and what people are willing to pay. There's another pricing strategy called the penetration pricing strategy. And that pricing strategy is designed generally for products in a really competitive market. And the idea behind that is you come in really cheap and you're hoping to steal customers from your competitors until you gain enough loyal customer base that you can raise your prices over time. There's some advantages and disadvantages to that strategy, just like there are to all of these strategies. Another pricing strategy is referred to as the skimming pricing strategy, and you might have seen this one in the world of electronics and technology where a new product comes on the market and it seems really expensive the first weeks or months that it's out there, and then quickly it starts to decline in price. And that's because as a new product and technology comes out, the competition generally moves really fast to make a comparable product. So companies try to get as much money out of the market as they can as quickly as they can before the competition comes in and starts to flood the market. There's the competitive pricing strategy that says, I'll just charge whatever the competition charges. Well, the good news to that pricing strategy is that you know that you're always in the competitive market. The bad news to that pricing strategy is you don't know whether the competition knows what they're doing in setting the price. And just because their price is set at one thing, it could be that their operating strategy or their operating model is completely different from yours, and so it's not a good fit for you. Yet another pricing strategy is what we like to call the exclusive pricing strategy. And that I mean that some people are willing to pay a higher price just because there's an image attached to that particular product. I remember a long time ago, my brother owned a discount jewelry and appliance store in the city of Detroit where we grew up. And I happened to be an assistant buyer at a very large, fairly exclusive retail store. And he and I used to exchange stories all the time. And I remember once asking one of the other buyers at this retail store why it is that we could get away with charging 2 or 3 times what my brother was charging for exactly the same product in his discount store. And my boss told me, quite frankly, because it comes in our bag. And what that meant was it was about the prestige of buying this product from this rather exclusive retail store that created some perception of value, whether it actually existed or not. one of the other, in last one of these pricing strategies that I'll talk about is one that we all know very well. And that is that we all know that $999 is so much less than $1,000. And that's referred to as odd pricing. And how many times have you gone into a store and they said, you know, you saw something for $9.98 and you thought, oh, that's so much less than the product for $10. And it's because of the psychological perception of a deal. And so, as a friend of mine used to say in the world of pricing, it's not the deal you get, it's the deal you think you get. And that's one of the tricks of pricing. So there's so many other factors involved. There's the psychological perception of pricing. There's pricing that changes from geographic region to geographic region because of the culture and economics of that region. So if you want to talk more about the best way to price your products and services, I would be delighted to have that conversation with you. Until then, take care and be well.